A very good afternoon, everyone. I, Swati BH, Assistant Professor of CSE, VVCE, would like to welcome all of you for the AICTE sponsored Second International Colloquium on Recent Trends in Computer Science 2021. I take this opportunity to welcome today's speaker, Dr. Anand Nayyar, faculty, researcher, and scientist at Dutan University, Vietnam. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I welcome our Honorable Principal, Dr. B. Sadashivegowda, in his absence. I welcome Dr. Ravikumar B., Professor and Head, Department of CSE, VVCE, Mysuru. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
I welcome Dr. Gururaj Hechal, Associate Professor, ACM Distinguished Speaker and Wing Coordinator, Department of CSE, VVCE. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much.
I extend a warm welcome to all the deans, heads of the various department, professors, and to all my dear colleagues. I welcome you all. I also welcome all my dear students and dear participants. Welcome you all. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Anand Nayyar, to the gathering. Dr. Anand Nayyar received his PhD from Deshbhagat University in 2017 in the area of wireless sensor network and swarm intelligence. He is currently working in graduate school, Dutan University, Vietnam. Dr. is a professional with 75 plus professional certificates from Cisco, Microsoft, Oracle, Google, EXIN, GAQM, Cyberom, and many more. He has published 450 plus research papers in various national and international conferences, international journals with high impact factors. Dr. Nayyar, he is a member of more than 50 plus associations as senior and life member and also acting as ACM Distinguished Speaker. He has authored come edited 30 plus books of computer science. He associated with more than 500 international conferences as program committee chair, advisory board, and as review board member. He has 5 Australian patents to his credit in the area of wireless communications, artificial intelligence, IoT, and image processing. He has awarded 30 plus awards for teaching and research, Young Scientist, Best Scientist, Young Researcher Award, Outstanding Researcher Award, Excellent in Teaching, and many more. Dr. Anand Nayyar is currently working in the area of wireless sensor networks, IoT, swarm intelligence, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cybersecurity, network simulation, and wireless communications. He is acting as associate editor for Wireless Network Springer, IET Quantum Communications, IET Wireless Sensor Systems, IET Networks, IJDST, IJISP, and IGCINI. He is also acting as editor-in-chief of IGI Global, USA journal titled International Journal of Smart Vehicles and Smart Transportation. It's our privilege and honor to have you as our speaker, sir. I thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. And now I request Dr. Anand Nayyar, sir, to take over the session. Thank you.
Can you see my screen, ma'am?
No, sir, it is not visible.
Can you see?
Yeah, it is visible, sir.
Can you see the presentation?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Thank you so much for confirmation. Okay. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Anand Nayyar, and I'm working as professor and computer scientist. And recently I have been promoted to vice chairman of School of Computer Science in Dutan University. Today on this conference, I will be speaking on the topic that will be regarding explainable artificial intelligence in industry. It's a very hot topic. It's a new abridged topic in the world of industry, in world of artificial intelligence, and of course towards real-time critical case studies based solutions. Now, as the world is changing and we are becoming dependent on artificial intelligence more and more, whether it's your mobile phones, whether it's your industry, or whether it's your way of thinking, and even gaming, you think of any field today, it is actually blessed with the power of artificial intelligence. And it is due to artificial intelligence that we can say that today we are living in the world of smart technology. Now, artificial intelligence has lots of faces. We talk of when we talk of machine learning, deep learning, federated learning, we talk of computational intelligence. So these are the stage 1 and generation 2 or maybe generation 3 based topics. But today I will be explaining the most important generation that has just nearly seeded about 4 months back. And when we have recently seen the latest even by Google I/O, when they have opened their explainable AI-based infrastructure. And you can see that with the power of explainable artificial intelligence, we can solve lots of problems with regard to natural language processing, image processing, and of course, the areas in the world of smart cities, smart grids, and cyber physical systems will take a new phase in solutions. So in this lecture, I will be talking about what exactly is known as explainable artificial intelligence. Now, before we know towards explainable artificial intelligence, let us first of all take some brief look into the advantages and limitations of artificial intelligence. Now, as you can see on the history that the artificial intelligence was actually coined by John McCarthy in 1927. Now you can see that we started with strong AI hypothesis, which means that the machines have a capacity to learn and think like human beings. When we say that we have knowledge and knowledge plus experience is equal to learning. So after that, we can have the weak hypothesis when we just have the data sets and the machines are prefetched with a model and we are able to solve the problems. But now we are taking the things to the next level when we started from 1993, when we have symbolic reasoning, human language technologies, human machine interference, machine interactions, and of course, predictions, classifications, and other deep learning models. So you can say that AI winters as better as excitement versus disillusion. So something we can say that if you talk of lots of things, when we talk of Space Odyssey, we talk of Iron Man, and we talk of the latest blockbuster movies of Hollywood and Bollywood, you all say that these things are actually working as a part and parcel of artificial intelligence. Now we want to take this thing to the next level when the machines not only talk to us, the machines are able to think that what exactly we are able to reach the decision. So maybe it will look confusing to you, but it is very interesting and easy. Just the only thing is you need to understand the conceptual methodology. So you can see over here that when we started with artificial intelligence, it was started with academic research. And after that, it drifted towards US military and we have towards consumer goods. When we started with academic research, where we have the game theory, then we shifted towards expert systems when we have Mycin, E-Mycin. And today we all know that these expert systems with fuzzy logics, they have done a huge boom. But fuzzy logic was a level 1. And now we have machine learning, deep learning, computational intelligence. And after that, we are taking the level to the next level when the artificial intelligence is taking a huge drift in the world of innovations when we have Google Translate, Siri, and of course, we have image recognition, object detection, object avoidance. We are using in drones technology, knowledge fusion, recommender systems. And of course, we take it to autonomous vehicles. And today the word in 2021 is shifting towards explainable artificial intelligence. So you can say that in 2020, we have seen the lots of things that has changed with the terms of big data, deep neural networks. And of course, you can say that we have seen exponential growth in terms of storage systems and of course, the power of processing the information. Now you see over here, computers, you need a very powerful computer. But if you talk of explainable AI, of course, we need to observe that if you're doing lots of tough calculations, maybe at one day, this type of AI will not be possible if you don't have a quantum computer at your desk. So you can say that the word like we change with the terms of algorithms as well as our theories and practical flowcharts and implementations, the computing technology also change a huge drift, and the requirements becomes more heavy and complex. So you can say that the main thing that we need to understand today, that how we can move the deep neural network into explainable artificial intelligence. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there was a myth that what exactly is the base for artificial intelligence. The base for AI is known as neural network technology. So you can say that the most current AI, when we have machine learning using deep neural networks, and what is this deep neural networks powered by? It is powered with big data. And of course, I have told you in lots of my lectures, if you have listened to my lectures, that if you don't have the data, you don't have the particular visualization, and the AI cannot work for you. The more you have the data, the more training that you have done on the machine has more experience and learning capacity. Of course, the machine can make complex decisions based on the experience. So the only thing is that how the machines can make the decision, it based on experience. And what gives you experience? It gives you data. So that's the data that plays the foundation for the experience. And of course, that's why today we don't want to make computers intelligent. We want to make them as a learning machine. So we can say some of the examples in our next few slides. You can see image analysis, deep learning, and of course, we do the training, validation, and test sets. So you can see that this is one of the example that I'm going to give you, that training a deep neural network, we need a training data set. So this is the effort that is being required by the domain expert. Now, considering that we talk of COVID-19, and the COVID-19 can be solved with AI, but it cannot be solved with AI. We can see that there is a different types of waves coming up, first wave, second wave. Now we have a fear that India can hit with the third wave. The only thing is it is all mutating. We don't have the actual evidence of the core DNA structure of COVID-19, and that's what we cannot fit in the artificial intelligence systems, and the machines will not be able to give the accurate decisions for that. So we have to train the model. We have to train the network with the use of machine learning models. So deep learning, which means no feature engineering. So if you talk of machine learning, we do most of feature extraction and other things, but in the terms of deep learning, we go for the prediction as well as remodeling of the structure with experience and with the data. And of course, we need to validate the set, and then the test set will be able to provide you the features, which means whether it is trained, whether the model is accurate, and that's all. This is the end for everything. Which means this is the stage one, when only AI is giving you the answers and the models, that what exactly is the percentage of accuracy, that whether, okay, I show you that I give a training to the system that these are more than 500,000 images of cats. And I show an image to the model that, okay, what is this? And that it will say that cat is around 86%. Now, what is this 86%? We can't make the decision with 86%. And how it is saying that it is a cat? It is not a human being. We have to make it train so that we should be able to have the evidence that how the machines are actually making the decisions. What exactly the machine, why it is saying that it is cat 86%. So that's why we need to shift towards the next level called explainable artificial intelligence. So in example 2, you can see that we have predictive analysis when we go for lots of estimation with the existing clinical data. So you can use this type of example for detecting lots of diseases. Like these days, I'm doing my research on diabetic retinopathy. We are doing our research on gynecology. Even we are doing some research on brain mapping. So we have recently done our research on breast cancer and other base diseases that you can see on my Google Scholar. And of course, we need to run more and more of types of clinical data. Only then we can say that whether the machine is actually predicting the real-time data in exact, accurate manner. So you can see that this is one of the predictive analysis that you can see that we have lots of hospitalized patients, and about 4,663 patients were taken. And we have a machine learning model based on random forest. And of course, we apply the data on a new patient, which means we are adding the data sets in the real time. But the results is that whether this is positive or whether it is negative. But the most important thing is that with explainable AI, we don't have only statistics that, okay, model is 86% accurate, this is 90% cat. It is going to explain that, okay, I will be showing you in the next slides So why it is a cat? Because it is looking like this type of face. It has 4 legs. It has a tail like this, and its body structure looks like a cat. So the limitations is that it is learning from historical data. So the most important thing is that the more data you bring in with the power of big data and you train with the deep learning neural networks, which means that the AI becomes better, and with explainable AI based interference with that model, you take the things to the next level, to the more intelligent communication network. So example 3, you can say that we can take lots amount of clinical information only through unstructured data sets. And of course, in the real time, when some people give me questions on email and even on my forums, that's we have some data, but the data is not structured, the data is unstructured, we need to normalize the data. So you will be stunned to know that we take tons of hours and maybe some few or 6 or 7 days in order to normalize the data. And recently I got a simple query from Nigeria. One group in computer science, they were learning, they were doing some concepts of machine learning, and they sent me some data that, sir, can you analyze the data? We are not able to get the proper results. I said that the data is incomplete. You need to refine the data with these parameters, and then they were able to gather that data, but now the model is working perfectly well. So you can say that with the power of machine learning and deep learning, it is not enough unless or until your big data or knowledge and interface is working very well. So this is what you can say, the processing the clinical language, that how exactly we can train our software robotics and how we can get the data from the real time, and we are able to identify what exactly the problems are, and we can do semantic analysis. And believe me, the results will be almost touching 100% with the power of explainable AI. And the example 4 that is in front of you will be with regard to the ontologies. And of course, that we can do the sentiment or standardization of entities in nanomedicine. Believe me, everybody, since we have started our research on healthcare, I'm coming up with new and new challenges every day. Sometimes I'm getting a project on biological things. Sometimes I'm getting a project on biotechnology, sometimes on nanomedicine, sometimes on nuclear engineering. So these things mean that everything can be solved with AI and big data if you are moving in the right direction. And of course, you can see that this is the nanoparticle ontology, when we have the formal ontologies being represented, and we have valuation, the ontologies with the power of documentation, and those documentations are historically semantic search. With that, we are able to classify that what exactly the mapping can be performed. Believe me, everybody, in the near future, we can even test the nuclear medicine or the nanomedicines by performing unlimited amounts of clinical trial without even testing it to the human subject or animal subject, which means our machines will be so much intelligent that before they can be applied on the clinical trial, they can be done. So if you suppose, now let me give you one film example. I was watching that movie, that is The War of Tomorrow. Now, if you have seen that movie, some people say that maybe this movie is a controversial movie, but I say that we have lots of things to learn. Now, see, when they have captured that female whitehead, that white spike, which was able to regenerate the population of those people who are finishing the earth, she was able to extract the DNA, and she was able to run lots of clinical trials even before testing that poison onto that white stocks. So which means that in terms of AI, we will be more ready towards how we can able to regenerate the medicines and clinical trial. And maybe with this, God knows that if we get this type of computer science and this type of things coming up soon, we can have the COVID-19 or maybe the future disease like this in a better clinical trial as compared to this one, which is like right now, like hit and run case like that. So the take-home messages will be that impressive progress in neural machine learning is possible. And of course, with terms of images and biosignal processing, we need to have good training data, which is quite expensive. And of course, we need to classify the clinical data. We have to make some structured clinical routines data, which means regular checks, how the data can be modified, how we can able to normalize the data. And of course, we need to have a long way right now. It is a long way. Then we can have the basic AIs that are classified, that this is the AI that is for medical healthcare. This is the AI for that is industry. This is the AI for finance. This is the AI for banking. This is the AI in blockchain for this type of industry. It's a long way, but in the future, one AI cannot be possible. We will have the classifications of AI, and that AI becomes better and better. So of course, right now we are working on black box AI, which is right now it is okay to be accepted, but it is very difficult to be you can say trusted in the world of healthcare. And of course, we need to be equally important on some ethical issues of AI. So with this, I clear my presentation number 1. And now I will go to my second presentation, which is going to be the main heart presentation for today, in which I will be demonstrating what exactly is meant by explainable AI. So ladies and gentlemen, till now we have discussed that what exactly is the advantages and limitations of AI. So you can say that today's AI is just taking the data set, we are applying some models, we are validating that model, we are training the model, and of course we are getting some data. That's the answer. But now that is not the only thing that we can be stopping. We have to take it to the next level when we can explain, when the computers have the, you can say the knowledge ability, the representation of the knowledge is possible with reasons. Now I will explain this presentation to all of you in a very easy manner. And if you want this presentation, you can take it from me, no problems at all. So of course, everybody, you can say that artificial intelligence is entering a new age. Of course, you can say that when we started with AI, it was only with game theory. We are only starting up with some expert systems, fuzzy logics. But with machine learning, we have limited expectations like classification of objects, identification of objects, doing some predictions and doing some modeling. But now everybody, we need AI. You know, everybody, that recently what AI is doing in autonomous vehicles. Even I was being blown away. Just it was like a dope technology for me. Suppose if an autonomous vehicle, if you don't want to run an autonomous vehicle, you can still run the vehicle on the road without a driver. If you have a proper 5G and if you have a proper no latency network, which means you are a driver, you can just be at the station and you just have the controls there like a simulator, and whatever you are driving, the actual truck will be able to drive. Now imagine how much better will be the network should be there. It should not be like that, okay, we are doing on a WhatsApp call and connection gone, it means the truck will also be gone. So they are also testing that how we can build up the particular 6G network and how we can bring up the next generation of autonomous vehicles with the no drivers on board, but the drivers will be miles away from the truck. So you can say that machine learning is becoming at the base of the core technology, and we have the machine learning models are opaque, non-intuitive, but of course it is very difficult to understand. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, some people say that is AI difficult? I say AI is not difficult, but the methodologies as well as the models and the way that we are using the AI, it is actually difficult. Now we want to make it something to the next level. So you can say that the current generation of AI systems, they provide tremendous benefits. And of course, we need to become it better and better, more interactive. And the only answer is explainable artificial intelligence. Now you can say that suppose you are making a model that, okay, which stock I need to buy. And you want to predict a stock of Google, and you have the last 15 years of data, and you are training that data with some linear regression or maybe support vector machine. You are validating the model and the machine is giving you the prediction that this could be there. But the question is, it is only the data. I need to have some explanation on data. So you can say that the user will always say right now, what do I do with that? Why not something else? When do you succeed? Because sometimes the machine learning models can only be like 90%, 92%, 96%. But when I should get 100%? Now that's a big question. Even if you talk of the best COVID-19 models in last 2 years, we have even achieved, even have done lots of research on COVID-19, but still we are not able to achieve more than 86% accuracy. Now imagine even the data is not efficient, still the models are not 100%, which means even if I get the full data, maybe I require more 7 to 8 months in order to make that model 100% working better. So if you want to see these type of clinical trials and other things, just go and watch the movie War of Tomorrow. You will see that how that antidotes were able to be detected and how the poison was there for these white spikes. So when do you fail? And of course, when can I trust you, and how do I correct an error? So these are the basic questions that a user asks. But the only thing that you can do right now is to retrain the model, refine the data, normalize the data, and add more data. That's the only answer. But that is like a hit and trial method. We are not into that. We are computer scientists and we want to improve that model the way that it thinks. So you can say that we need to improve the architecture. Now you can see the CNN when we have the different types of layer, like max pooling layers, like, okay, it classify the image from one generation to another generation. Like we have the input layer, hidden layer, output layer. That is known as an automatic algorithm when we do only basic things of feature extraction and classification. But now with AI, now let me tell you everybody, we want to take it to some other level. Now see this, we have the training data, and now the training data will not be at rest, it will be a dynamic data. It will always be dynamic, which means there is maybe in the near future, there will be no concept of data set. We will just have the source of the data, and that source will be updating regularly. And which means as the data gets updated, your model also gets trained, retrained, and of course it becomes intelligent one by one. So maybe in the near future, what I expect in 2 years, that there will be no concept of data set. So after that, you can say that we go for the input of labeling of the data, that what exactly is the data. And after that, we have different layers of neurons when we go for responding to simple shapes, complex structures. And of course, we can go for the next level that, okay, this is the image. If you're showing this is 90% dog, but it is 10% wolf. But this 90 and 10, we want to remove that. And how? I'm saying you how, that if I put an image, the image, if it is a dog, it is good, but why it is a dog? Now ask yourself that if suppose you go in the real-time environments and you have a particular problem, you all say that, okay, this is the problem, that could be the reason. But machines only say, this is the problem and this is what I think of, but it will not explain you that. So what we are trying to do, you can see that, don't look here right now, just look here. So today is that we just put the images, and that is a training data in form of data set, and we go for, you can say, unlimited times of learning process applying the models. And of course we have this type of learn function when you use CNN, RCNN, support vector machines, deep learning or other things. And of course the output is that when you put this image to the model, it will say the cat is 0.93. Now you say that our model is well trained, 93% is accurate, but I say I have lots of doubts and questions about it. Now see this, what do you do about that? You have the cat, it is 0.93%, but what is that? This is the output 0.93. What you will do of that? Have you ever imagined that you are just training the machines on different types of data sets and you are just getting the numbers? But what we should do of that number? Nobody has thought about that. So see this, why not something else? Why do you succeed? When do you go to 100%? And why and how I can correct this 0.7%? Now see this, that tomorrow will be that I'm just going to change this learning process with a new learning process. Now that will be the new explainable AI, and that is going to be the new framework by Google. So with this, we can have the explainable AI, and after that, the machine will send you that, okay, this is a cat. Rather than to give you this P.93, this is old now, it will say, this is a cat because it has fur, it has whiskers, it has claws, and it has this feature. Which means we are going to stop this type of boring figures, and we are going to welcome this type of excellent features. When the machines have a base, that how they determine the cat. And once you improve, machines become better and better, which means we can say that our models are getting better and better for presentation. So that's what you can say the explainable AI will be, that it will be removing the numbers and it will be giving you the explanations that how it is there. So what we are trying to do of today, you can see that today we have video and social media. We are going for learning process, and that's how we can go for feature classification and extraction and prediction, that what is fake news and what is that other things. And we have the same learned functions, and we can say that this incident is a violation. Violation means that it is firing a rocket, means it is a war situation going on, which means that the prediction is only 0.93. Maybe it's a military exercise. Maybe it is not a drill. Maybe we can say that it is like a testing of a new weapon. So anything can be possible. Maybe it's a military exercise, testing a new weapon, or a war. But I cannot say anything. But see over there that in terms of tomorrow, we have the new learning process, and the machine will say, okay, this is a violation because tweet is sharing that there is a war happening between these two countries, and these are the images that are captured from these areas. When the machines have the reason that how you will be able to predict the exact things in the picture. So in terms of goal and performance, you can say that we are creating a new suite of machine learning with more explainable models, with better prediction accuracy, and of course, with explanations, rather than to have the boring 0.93, 0.87 based data. And of course, with explainable AI, we will have the humans to understand, build up the trust, and of course, we can take it to the next generation where the problems are in real time and we need to have the solutions. When we have unpredicted problems, when we have real-time critical problems, we have the undetermined situations in the world that is happening, we need to classify them. So in terms of measuring explanation, you can say that it is going to be an explanation framework when we have a model and framework and it is given a task. And after that, it is giving a recommendation, decision, or maybe an action. And after that, on that basis, the user can take the action or maybe decision. So you can say that in terms of user satisfaction, we will have the clarity and utility of explanation. We have our own model for making the decisions and we improve the performance of the users, and we have the appropriate assessments towards future use and trust, and we can reduce the errors to a greater extent. I can say that in the future, we will not say that, okay, this is 90%, this is 80%. We can only say that, okay, this is the answer. If the answer is justified, which means model is good, you can start ahead. If it is not up to there, retrain the model with the new data, which means the data as well as the machine learning will be actually connected and networked with each other in the near future. So this you can say that it is known as the performance versus explainability. When we have learning techniques today with everything towards neural networks and deep learning, graphical models like Bayesian, Markov models, and of course we have the ensemble models, random forest and decision tree, and we are having more broad scope towards explanations and of course learning with experience. So you can say that in the near future, the deep learning and the models will be able to improve the process and add NLP into that. Okay, so you can say that this is a new approach that we are putting up in terms of deep explanation, interpretable models, and of course, model induction to infer with explainable model from any type of black box. When the problems will not be inside the box, when we see the problem, we visualize it and we control it. And these are one of the challenging problems that you can see, especially when it talks to remote sensing, border intelligence, and of course, I'm saying you in terms of healthcare. Now imagine if we have an explainable AI in drone, we have an explainable AI in satellites, we have explainable AI in X-ray machines, what we can do in the near future. When the things can become more and more smart, the things can become more and more controlled, and of course the things can become more and more closer to you. So in terms of data analytics, you can see that this is the multimedia data that we are performing, that trucks are performing a loading activity. That what is happening on the border? Is China improving its military arsenal? Is China building up a road? And we have some explainable decision when the analytics look in terms of multimedia data sets. When the machine automatically alerts that there is some border activity going on, and with satellites, we are able to make some decisions that what exactly is going to happen, that we should alert the military. Which means that in the near future, and next 5 to 6 years, we can even run the entire parallel intelligence network that is based on explainable AI and deep learning neural network. So this is autonomy, which can be even go for military. And I see that military and healthcare, these are the two critical areas that we have to go for explainable AI. And I'm working right now on agriculture as well as healthcare. I'm not working on military because I cannot do research on that basis. That is not legal. But for agriculture and for smart cities and of course for smart grid, we are getting excellent answers right now. So these are the concepts and technical approaches. You can see that in terms of deep learning, we will have reflexive and rational intelligence. In terms of causal model induction, we have the narrative generation. And of course, the deep learnings over here, it will be improved towards show and tell explanations. When machine is explaining you, and of course, we have nearby augmentation, and of course, we can make our decisions in better psychological model of explanation. So these are one of the approaches that to explain deep learning as well as explainable AI. When we have a man in a jacket is standing at the slot machine, that whether it is doing some hacking or whether the person is just playing the game, and we have the modeler induction networks that how we can park the car over there. Now imagine if you go to an autonomous parking, you just say that, okay, I want to park the car, and the machine will automatically say that, okay, you are in a Mercedes, so go down, take your near left, and you can go to block 3. It is safe. And of course, there is an empty type of parking when the machine is actually visualizing the data, giving you the decision, and of course, giving you the explanations of that. So that's beauty. So in terms of AI in exponential cars, this is what we require. And I've already told you that in terms of autonomous vehicles, if you really want to go for level 5 autonomy, explainable AI has to work for that. So how the car is, you can say that suppose the car is driving on the road and you are driving from last 45 minutes and the car can just say you, we are approaching a nearby hotel, we are approaching this restaurant, we are approaching this monument. Do you want me to stop? So when the car gives you the explanations, that what exactly is a recommendation for you. So how we can accelerate, how we can control it, and of course, we can redefine how the machines see the real-time situations. So this is what you can say the recent research that has been done with regard to explanation-based informant acceptance by the deep adaptive programs by the Oregon State University. And you can say that in the near future, when you are playing a game and the other gamers are also playing, so everything becomes a data set. And if I start playing the game, the computer start visualizing me and it gives me an answer that, okay, you are weak over here, so just try to lift like this. And if you are strong over here, just try to make it better. When we understand and we work with computers to become better and better. So this you can say, and one of the dissections that you can see in terms of buildings, furniture, and of course, indoor objects, when we have more strongly activated path. So in the near future, if you really want to go for like address the based recommendation that where I should go, what is the best thing that we can find the address, this is where the explainable AI will be able to take up the measures for you. So 4 form of modes of explanation that can be there, that in terms of analytic statements, that what to describe the element, like this is like because of fur, because of biscuits, because of the green eyes. Visualizations, that what exactly it visualize. Of course, number of cases can be there like clinical class, and of course like rejections that can be based on analytics. So with this, I would like to tell you that explainable AI is actually in the news, and lots of universities across the world, military, MIT, Oregon State University, and of course, lots of universities from China and Hong Kong, they've started working. And right now, this is the best answer because India needs answer to lots of critical problems. So explainable AI could be the solution for everything. So this was my lecture for today. If anybody has any question, so please give me some questions so that I can discuss with you all. Any questions from your side, or if anybody wants to interact with me, they can interact.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, if you have any queries or questions, you can post in the chat box.
Hello. Swati ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
So ma'am, if the participants have any good questions, so please they can ask the questions on the chat box, or they can unmute themselves.
Yes, sir, sure, sir. So, dear participants, if you have any questions, please post in the chat box. Dear participants, do you have any questions? If so, please post in the chat box.
Okay, so thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for inviting.
Sir, we have a validatory function at
No problem.
3
I'm
o'clock, sir.
online. I'm online.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And whatever you posted, it is in private chat, sir. I'll post it in the private chat, sir. I'll
Yeah,
forward
sure.
it. Thank you.
Okay, I got some questions in the chat box in the comments that by Rahma Salman Mohammed.
Yes.
Explainable AI, how can be applied in healthcare? Of course, I have already told you that we are not going to change many things over here, but simply we are improving the learning process and we are adding some new model that will be giving the explanation. So your basic things with regard to machine learning and deep learning will be the same, but the only thing is that we will add one model that will not give us the 0.93 or 0.100 or maybe 0.88. It is just going to give you that, okay, this is the explanation that we can get, that this is having some blood clotting, this is like this, and that's why I say that it is a cancer or maybe this is a problem. So the main thing is that we will add more information in the data and the machine is able to give you the explanations. Okay. Mr. Cape Paramesha, I'm not able to understand your question. Can you please retype your question? Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for everybody for giving a good constructive feedback regarding nice session. I'm honored for this. If anybody has any question, please ask the question. I am available right now till we don't start the validatory. If you have any other question with regard to computer science, I work on lots of areas: sensors, AI, swarm intelligence, cloud computing, IoT, cybersecurity. If you have any question for that, you are most welcome to ask that question. No problems. I will answer that. Okay, so I got one question from Archana Priyadarshini. Sir, any current AI research critical areas? Of course, we have lots of critical areas that you can do. Recently, we have started our research on explainable AI in industry. And of course, if you're talking of AI, then I recommend you that you should start your research towards healthcare. That is also important area. How you can add some AI in smart cities, AI in agriculture, and of course if you can do the research, but I can also support you that how we can add or make explainable AI in drones. And of course we need some more financial models like fintech and AI. And recently we also want to add AI and blockchain towards how we can solve some government taxation based systems that we can do. So find out the problems that you can surround across the world in real time, and you can use that data in order to train your model and come up with something interesting with AI. And of course, everybody as an AI professor, because I teach AI, and of course I'm teaching big data. I teach lots of subjects that belong to AI. So what I've observed is that we started from symbolic representation and now we are coming towards explainable AI. We have seen lots of changes, but the only thing is that how we need to optimize those algorithms, how we can able to systematically make the things possible to us. Now, if you talk of real-time practical problems, the most important thing is data gathering skills, that how you gather the data, then data normalization skills, then data interpretation skills, and after that, the data presentation skills. So this is what you have to improve, that how the AI cannot be only a tool for you, but how you are able to make the decisions and solve a particular problem by giving your analysis as well as the presentation using AI as a tool. So that is what you can say, that AI should be a partner for you. Okay. So what is the latest trend in IoT which will be beneficial for research? So let me tell you, Sahira Ahmed, that these days we are not talking of IoT, we are talking of Internet of Everything. So the most important critical area is industrial Internet of Things, Internet of Everything, that how you can add up with smart buildings. And of course, we require lots of areas to improve the communication. Recently, you've seen my research. If you have seen my research, we have done our research on LoRa communication. And of course, we need more research towards bridging up the autonomous vehicles, how you can add IoT and other related technologies towards that. And recently, I'm also coming up with my own book, that how we bridge up artificial intelligence and IoT, mixing up like AI IoT for that. And of course, if you talk of IoT, don't think of like a simulator like we talk of IoT 5, BWise, or of course like a NetSim or QualNet. Talk of embedded systems when you take a Raspberry Pi, or you take like a Pine 64, you take Lati Panda, or you take Asus Tinkerboard and you add some sensors, you take some problem and you make your cluster, you make your device, your working prototype, and then you are able to predict something with the data, and not only with data gathering skills, but you need to understand that how you can classify the data and make it usable for you. And of course, for IoT, I would like to suggest you that if anybody is interested to work with me, we are starting a new project on underwater IoT network, that how we can make up underwater IoT ecosystem. And the most important critical application that we see in IoT, that how we can monitor the critical applications, because we recently got a grant with ASEAN, that how we can go for underground mining based networking based monitoring using IoT based solution. So that is what we are doing. And of course, we have chatbots, we have robotics that is coming up. We have tons of things that are coming up with IoT. I hope, Sahira Ahmed, I am able to clarify your all doubts, and you have written all these points. And if you have any question, you can email me. I'm readily available on the email. No problems. Yes. Any other query? I would like to take one or two more queries since till we go for the validatory section. Any other question, please? Okay, Swati ma'am, we can close the session.
Yes, sir. Please join at 3 o'clock, sir.
No
There
problem,
will
madam.
be
I'm
well.
I'm here only because it's almost going to be just 10 minutes we are away. It's about 3:20 at your time.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. And thank you for enlightening us on many aspects of artificial intelligence, sir. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Sir, have you finished the talk? How was the talk, sir?
Yes, it was good, Dr. Gururaj.
All those things, then you should specify report as an argument.
So I think in another 5 minutes we can have the Valtech session.
No problem. I'm free right now.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe I'm not able to type anything on the comment section. Maybe I don't have the right for that.
I think Pushkin over there.
Yeah, maybe Swati ma'am has answered the queries by the participants, like my email address or other things.
Yes, sir, I have sent.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I reminded Dean, sir. I think he'll join at 3:05 exactly.
Okay, sir.
Please put a message to all the participants regarding valedictory session, guys. To all the participants.
Yes, sir, we have posted.
So good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Dr. Gurraj. Jayanadra, sir.
Yes, sir, Janagada, sir.
Good afternoon, GBK, sir. Namaste, sir.
Sir, namaste. Namaskara.
Oh,
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Anand, sir, can we start, sir?
Yes, sir. We can start, please.
Sir, we
Sir,
have with
Anand
us
Nayyar, sir.
Krishnappa, sir.
Namaste. Anand Nayyar, sir, namaste.
Namaste, sir. How are you?
Fine. How about you?
Fine, sir.
Seems to be fine. Always you are fine. Always smiling.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, shall we start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please move on.
Okay. So, as we have come to the end of this AICTE-sponsored Second International Colloquium on Recent Trends in Computer Science 2021, we have a small valedictory function now. So, I would like to welcome Dr. B. Sadashivegowda, Principal, VVCE Mysuru, in his absence. I would like to welcome today's speaker, Dr. Anand Nayyar, faculty, researcher, and scientist at Dutan University, Vietnam. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I extend my hearty welcome to Dr. G.B. Krishnappa, Dean R&D, VVCE Mysuru. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
I also welcome Dr. Ravi Kumar V, Professor and Head, Department of CSE, to this event. Welcome you, sir.
thank you, madam. Thank you.
Now I would like to welcome Dr. Gururaj HL, Associate Professor and Wing Coordinator to this event. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I heartily welcome all my dear students, faculty members, and participants to this event. I welcome you all. Moving on, I request Dr. Ravi Kumar V, Professor and Head, Department of CSE, VVCE Mysuru, to welcome the gathering.
Very good afternoon to one and all. I take this opportunity to welcome you all for the valedictory of AICTE sponsored International Colloquium on Recent Trends in Computer Science, ICRTCS 2021. It's an immense pleasure to have Dr. Anand Nayyar, faculty, research and scientist, graduate school, Dutan University, Vietnam. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I take this opportunity to welcome management members of management, Shri Gundappa Gowda, Honorable President, and Shri Engineer P. Vishwanath, Honorable Secretary, to this valedictory function in their absence. I welcome both of you, sir. I would like to welcome Dr. B. Sadashivegowda, Principal, Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysuru, in his absence. I welcome you, sir. I wholeheartedly welcome Dr. G.B. Krishnappa, Dean Research and Development, VVCE Mysuru. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I also welcome Dr. Gurraj HL, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, and ACM Distinguished Speaker. Welcome you, sir. And Wing Coordinator. I welcome you, sir. I take this opportunity
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Jannavi, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, and Wing Coordinator. I welcome you, madam. I would like to welcome all the deans, HODs, and of various departments. I welcome you all. I also welcome members of Wing, teaching and non-teaching fraternity of VVCE, and my dear students. I welcome you all. So before I conclude my welcome remarks, I would like to thank Dr. Gurraj HL and his team for taking this initiative for conducting this 5 days international colloquium. I could see that there are faculties from various foreign universities have delivered the talk on various topics, on especially on AI and ML. I could be able to see that on AI and IoT. And today I was looking at Dr. Anand Nayyar talk. I was just wondering how the things are changing. Sir was talking 1 year back. He was talking some concept, and it has totally changed in this today's scenario. So I hope the participant has benefited a lot from this particular 5-day international colloquium. Once again, I thank all the organizers for giving me an opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of Wing Research Community, I extend my hearty welcome to you too, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Now I request Dr. Gururaj HL, Wing Coordinator and ACM Distinguished Speaker, to brief about ICRTCS 2021.
Yes, thank you so much, Swati. Respected head of the department, respected Dean R&D, and my very good friend of mine, Dr. Anand Nayyar, ACM Distinguished Speaker, and renowned scientist on computer science. This second international colloquium on recent trends in computer science came to an end because of all the support extended by the management, from the head of the department and Dean R&D sir, with all the wing faculty members, students. And when I started with this collecting the speakers this time for 10 speakers, I requested the first speaker I requested was Anand Nayyar sir, and he never said no for me and immediately accepted the invitation. And along with that, he suggested one more speaker for the colloquium also. And it was really good to have you on this occasion, sir. And almost all the speakers, they throw the light on various aspects of various dimensions of computer science. And we got participants across the globe. We have the participants from USA, UK. We have various participants across the globe. And it was sponsored partially by AICTE, as it is a part of ACM Student Chapter. So we have with us various speakers and also various participants, and we wanted to continue the same colloquium in future also with all your supports. I thank each and everyone for giving me an opportunity to speak a few words regarding ICRTCS 2021. Thank you, Swati.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I request today's speaker, Dr. Anand Nayyar, faculty, researcher, and scientist, Dutan University, Vietnam, to address the gathering.
Ma'am, how much time I have?
5 minutes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Anand Nayyar, and I'm working as professor and computer scientist and vice chairman of research in computer science department of Dutan University. Now, thank you so much, first of all, Dr. Gururaj, for inviting me. Thank you, HOD sir, Dr. Ravi Kumar V, for inviting me. Before I should say something, I would like to tell you that colloquium like this, like when we talk of research, recent trends in computer science, we say that we are gathering here to understand that what exactly is happening, how the world has changed from last year to this year, and what we expect to get in the next year. Now, imagine, take your smartphones instead. You see that the smartphone operating systems are even changing. Even the hardware is doubling up like anything. The cost of the products are even coming down. The graphics cards that we have seen in gaming last year is totally the graphics cards that we have seen and even we will see in the near future. The most important thing I would like to tell you that if you talk of 2021, I would like to share that these are the 5 important technologies that all of you should start learning. And of course, you should keep a close eye on these things. Now, the first important technology is a bit obvious. Many people will say, no doubt, sir, you will say artificial intelligence, but it is not. Let me tell you, artificial intelligence is not a technology. It is basically a thing that actually drives the technology. So the first, according to me, should be Internet of Everything. Because if we talk of smart word and connected word, Internet of Everything is going to drive the whole things, whether it is your smartphone, your home, agriculture, industry, cyber physical systems, and of course, the way we talk of transportation of the near future. Number 2, this revolution has already started, but no doubt because of COVID, we have seen some downfall, but still it is picking up. And of course, now as the world is shattering up, it is recovering from COVID-19. We can see that this thing can improve like anything. Number second is autonomous revolution, which is very important because the future cars and the future transportation, we all know today we are all stressing on electric vehicles. And fuel cell is a technology that sees more time to come in the sunshine. The only thing is that after electric cars, the only thing that we need to focus is the autonomous revolution. And these days I'm seeing that even the flying car, the underwater car, and even the car that can take hybrid shapes, they are now existing. Even I was wondering that why we are not seeing these cars 3 years back, but still we are in 2021, we are still seeing these cars. Number three, the way that we communicate with each other. Today we talk that of the population, we talk of the usability of the networks. It is actually hybrid. There was a time when we use our phone only for calling and just for SMS, but today we mostly based our whole life on our phones. Whether we have to do calls, whether we have to do Zoom meetings, or even we upload our videos or even stream 4K videos. So the most important thing in the number four is that is called your 5G and even the 5G plus and 6G technology. Very, very important, everybody. Please keep an eye. Now, the next technology that I would like to share, that no doubt India is thinking to become the blockchain country, but now like countries like in South America, like Ecuador, they have even taken this as an important part of currency. Like we have the legal term for the notes, like we have currency of Indian rupees, we have Vietnam dongs, euros, and of course we have US dollars. Now the blockchain and bitcoins are even becoming the valid currency proof. So blockchain is going to see a huge drift in the world of how it is adapting. And it is actually adapting very soon. Recently, I have completed one project with the government that how we can adopt blockchain in e-commerce industry when we have added Eka chain with Lazada. And now I've got another project that how we can add blockchain into the fishery sector of Vietnam. This is important sector, very, very important sector. And the last but not the least, I would like to tell you, as we have already know that every country, I will not take the name of the incident. You have seen that incident that has happened near our military base, Air Force base in Pathankot. What has happened, we all know. I will not like to share it more publicly. But now military and every country should look seriously towards drones technology. So these are the 5 technologies that I would like to see that our next colloquium and even our next conferences should focus on. So please focus on these technologies. They have a very bright future. And of course, you as a research person, you as a budding researcher, you need to devise your own techniques, methodologies, novel architectures, and of course need to solve some problems. You need to take the critical studies in the real time and how we can solve these problems with these 5 areas, because the world is huge, the research is global, the sector of thinking is widen up. Opportunities are there for grants and even for publishing. So keep your pace up towards these 5 technologies that I've discussed. And I wish you all the best. And if you need to contact me, I've already given my email address. You can take it from Dr. Gururaj and Madam Swati also. Okay, thank you for inviting again. Madam Swati, you can please continue. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening on recent trends of research. Now I request Professor Kavya Rani, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE, to give overall report on ICRTCS 2021.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Kavya Rani SR, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, VVCE, Coordinator of Second International Colloquium on Recent Trends in Computer Science, takes this opportunity to give some insights about the colloquium which was conducted from 5th to 9th of July. The event got started with an inauguration followed by welcome speech by Dr. Ravikumar V, Professor and Head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. The opening remarks was delivered by Dr. G.B. Krishnappa, Dean R&D VVCE. The session began with Dr. Zaman, who spoke about Industry 5.0 and Industrial Internet of Things. On the same day, evening, a keynote speech was addressed by Dr. Hombing Song, who also engaged a session on AI machine learning for Internet of Dependable and Controllable Things. On the day 2, Dr. Susain enlightened on the topic So Close and So Far to Go Adaptive Learning System. The afternoon session was briefed by Dr. Francisco Femini on digital twins for trustworthy autonomy. Day 3 was taken over by Dr. Nawab, who spoke about role of deep learning in modern big data analytics. On day 4, Dr. Polo provided some insights on exploiting machine learning for improving in-memory execution of data-intensive workflows. The afternoon session was engaged by Dr. Hasabullah, who briefed on recent trends in artificial intelligence and applications. On the concluding day, that is on day 5, we had Dr. Celestine, who enlightened on next generation artificial intelligence, security issues, and Industry 5. The afternoon session was taken over by Dr. Anand Nayyar, who was also a plenary speaker and also highlighted on Explainable AI in Industry. This is how the Second International Colloquium on recent trends in computer science journey got concluded successfully. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. I now request Dr. G.P. Krishnappa, Dean R&D, VVCE, to give the closing remarks on ICRTCS.
Thank you, madam. Respected Dr. Anand Nayyar, chief guest of this valedictory function, professor, scientist, and researcher, Dutan University, Vietnam. Dr. V. Ravi Kumar, professor and head, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysuru. Dr. Gururaj H.L., coordinator of Wing, associate professor and ACM distinguished speaker, VVCE, Mysuru. And all the members of the organizing committee and respected participants from across the world. So we are concluding the Second International Colloquium on recent trends in computer science and engineering, that is 2021. ICRTCS 2020 was a success. This is also a grand success because of the distinguished speakers from all over the world. As Ms. Kavyarani mentioned, they gave insight into the real technology which is going on. So actually I have heard so many lectures from Dr. Anand Nayyar, a wonderful personality. Whenever I see his face, actually he's always smiling. So now with just 5 minutes, he concluded this all 5 days, the technology spoken by other distinguished speakers. We VVC expect such type of colloquiums organized in the near future. As Dr. Gururaj mentioned, the onus is on the wing coordinators, Dr. Gururaj HL and Dr. Janavi Madam, and also on the professor and head of Computer Science and Engineering, Dr. Ravi Kumar and his team. I hope they'll organize such events because it's very much useful for the students, the research scholars, researchers, and professors. And the sad thing what I felt in this valedictory function or even in the inauguration, that Professor Swati BH and Professor Kavyarani did not open their camera. We hope in the next colloquium, so we'll see their faces. Okay, I thank the organizing committee for giving this opportunity to me. See, even my ears are not so attractive. I opened my camera. Very good. You have opened this. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, you are actually a very smart personality. I must.
Both are you smart person, sir. Both Anand Nayyar sir as well as GBK sir are very smart. And
Okay.
just for adding to that, sir.
Sir, you
Dr.
forget we are into. Sir, you forget that we are into research, and if the research our hair is long, we have not agreed anything.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sure, sir.
The Dean R&D, I am the vice chairman of my research department. The hair going is bit natural. This is our jewel, I can say.
Okay. Right.
Thank you. Sir, just before you conclude, I should congratulate Dr. Anand Nayyar for getting 3 promotions in a day, sir. Just now I came to know that Dr. Gura said that sir has got 3 promotions in a day.
Oh, okay. It's very strange, sir. Congratulations.
He is right now vice chairman of research.
Okay, right, sir. Right. Very good. Congratulations, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Ravi Kumar, Professor Anand Nayyar, Professor Gururaj, Professor Swati, Professor Kavyarani. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So now I request Professor Meghavi, Assistant Professor, Department of ISC, to render the vote of thanks.
A very good evening to one and all. Gratitude opens the door to the power of the wisdom, the creativity of universe. I, Meghavi, Assistant Professor, Department of ISC, a wing faculty coordinator, would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the management of VVCE for being so generous enough to conduct this international colloquium. I also would like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. B. Sadashivegowda sir, in his absence for his constant support. I would like to thank our beloved HOD, Dr. Ravi Kumar V, Department of CSC, for being a great moral support. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
I also would like to thank Dr. G.B. Krishnappa, Dean R&D, for being the constant support. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
I also would like to thank the speakers of all the sessions for the effective knowledge sharing. Thank you all. I also would like to thank the speaker of the valedictory section, Dr. Anand Nayyar, for his constant support and effective knowledge sharing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I take this opportunity to thank the wing coordinators, Dr. Gururaj H.A., ACM Distinguished Speaker, and Dr. Janavi V for guiding us throughout ICRTCS 2021. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Megha. Thank you so much.
And thank you, ma'am. I also thank all the respective event coordinators and the participants for making this event a grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, Megha ma'am. Now it's time to putting a curtain to the AICTE-sponsored Second International Colloquium on Recent Trends in Computer Science 2021. So, once again, I wholeheartedly thank the gathering for gracing this event. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
sir.
so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye,
You
sir.
are given an assignment what to do next also.
Yes, sir.
You are given an assignment to Dr. Gururaj what you are supposed to do in the next colloquium.
Yeah, of course. We will discuss more on that. And the first
You are
activity
given a
that
path. You are given a
Megha
path.
madam,
of doing
your
also.
camera.
of course, the first activity that we will like to do in the next 1 or 2 months is to first of all sign a MOU between your lab and my lab. The first activity should be that.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
I'm just always requesting Dr. Gururaj HL to come up with his own lab. I don't know why he is not taking that initiative of coming up with his own lab. Management is ready to support, but he is not taking that into consideration. I don't know why he is not doing it. At least as a friend, well-wisher, please tell him to do it.
No problem. I will shout on the phone very badly after 2 hours. He will be taking the initiative.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Dr. G.
Gururaj, I will take your class after 2 hours. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Bye.
Thank you.